Hello, my name is Stephanie. I'm on day 2 of my dry fast. It's day 1 of the retreat, and I wanted to talk about why I'm coming back for my second time here. I was here a year ago in October, and I returned again in October for more healing. I'm here to continue on the healing journey, and a lot happened for me once discovering dry fasting. Prior to dry fasting, my life was a life of disability, and the quality of my existence was very difficult to bear. And this was the result of a very late diagnosis for Lyme disease and multiple tick infections. And I sought every possible modality that was within my purview and beyond. And while I may have experienced some halting of progressive symptoms, nothing restored the quality of my life. I went on to have a form of heart failure and was treated at some major hospitals, institutions, engaged in at least 2 clinical trials, one of which has been published research. And for me, the treatments that were studied and the trial that I went under for about a year was not successful. Luckily for me, shortly after I discovered Michelle Slater's book, Starving to Heal in Siberia, and I knew this was the hope for someone who was living a hopeless life. And with that, I went into great detail in my daily diaries last year, so I won't go into all those gory details. And instead, I'd like to reflect on my experience over the past year. So prior to coming to Montenegro last year, I did some preparatory work and found that a 2-day dry fast for me, my first 2-day dry fast practicing at home, was quite powerful. I had not yet completed the 21-day cleanse. I thought, 2 days is not that long. However, for me, 2 days was enough to initiate a very, very intense acidotic crisis, which is a healing crisis. And while it is a good thing, we also probably killed virtually every infection that had been deep within my system, nervous system, my heart, vascular system for many, many years, probably well over 10. So I did find myself in the hospital and for 14 hours in the emergency room. And once all was ruled out that I had not caused any organ damage, there was really nothing more that could be done for me. I returned home and spent the next 3 days feeling well armed to recover. Once we knew there was nothing seriously wrong with me, then I knew what was going on. And on the 4th day, I woke, and some of my absolute worst, unbearable symptoms were just gone. They were just gone. And I was able to start climbing stairs, which is something that normally caused incredible pressure, crushing pressure in my chest. My legs become, very heavy, difficult to move. I must lay down, and then after lying down, my circulation would stop again because I was lying down, and my heart was having a difficult time moving blood where it needed to be. And I would have to get up again, only to have to go back down again. So this was the way I lived, 24/7, just trying to cope. And those symptoms were gone. It was amazing. Therefore, I no doubt I would be moving forward to have the dry fast experience. So I did that again. That's in my diary from last year. this year, after returning from Montenegro, I had a very long, slow, but productive recovery time. I know that some people feel they're ready, and it's advised to do another long dry fast quickly. But for me, I knew I needed more time to heal. There was mitochondrial damage, thyroid, like I said, my entire cardiovascular system. These things I don't know how to explain it other than to say I could actually feel the energy in my body doing this good work, even while I was feeling incredibly, fatigued from this journey, this arduous undertaking of a long dry fast and the traveling. Yet I know when I returned home, it was a 24-hour journey home, and I water fasted during that. And I remember waking at 5 a.m. and just feeling amazing, just amazing. I couldn't believe after all that I'm waking up at 5 a.m. and feeling truly amazing. So while what I decided to do, I met with a doctor after a few months to decide how to carry on with my healing process. And ultimately, I decided to do 1-day fasts a week. And because dry fasting, even though I'd gone through, 6 days, broke my fast on the 7th day here in Montenegro under the doctor's advisement, I still found dry fasting really strenuous on my body, and it felt like my body was doing all this work to heal, and things were just in motion. So I decided to just go with water fasting 1 day a week to just ease back into fasting. And I found that amazingly productive, just water fasting 1 day a week. And then I stepped up and added in 1 day a week dry fasting. And I would alternate, and probably majority of them were 1 day water fasts for months. And it seemed like on some of those fasts, I could just feel a bump of improvement that persisted. So every bit of improvement that I have gained during this past year and a half, I've held on to. I have not regressed at all. The only thing that I had to return to was my thyroid medication. But prior to that, I had been on 6 medications prior to finding dry fasting. So back on 1 medication for my thyroid, that was acceptable. All of my goal is to carry on with this healing journey and hopefully heal my thyroid as well. So day 2, we'll see what comes next. Thank you.
So I am on day 2 of the retreat and day 3 of my dry fast. Something to talk about would be the plans that I made to travel. I chose to do the same as I did last year. The flight is like a 10-hour flight from Boston to Istanbul, and then there's like a 4-hour layover. And then you've got about an hour and a half or so to get to Montenegro, and then an hour taxi. So I knew for me, it was about a 24-hour journey, including traveling to the airport from where I live in Mid-Coast, Maine. And with that, I personally chose not to begin my dry fast. I did the same last year when I came. I felt that I would need the recover day. So I also planned for that. So I had a recovery day, and it also gives me a chance to pretend I'm on vacation. I get to swim and be in the sun and just relax. I chose to water fast during the entire travel time. Ate very lightly before I left my home. I think I just had a vegetable soup. and also ate very lightly on that free day after I arrived. Vegetable soup again, and maybe a very light salad. Just wanted to not overload my system, and so that was how I handled it, and I still feel it's the right thing for me, in part because I do get very, very weak during my fasting at home, and same thing happened last year. It's a part of the heart preload failure condition that I have. Blood pressure drops and heart rate goes up. So I will be very lucky if I make it to a full 9 days. I will be happy if I make it to at least as long as I did last year, which it was 6 days. I had to break my fast on the 7th day because of my heart rate. So with that, I don't have high expectations that I will make it all the way to the 9, but I'm going to try. I'm really going to try. As far as symptoms that I've been experiencing so far, I do find that I kind of go into the acidosis very quickly, and I would say for sure, I feel pretty confident that last night I began to experience a healing crisis, and I have a lot of nausea, did have some vomiting, and headaches, and I'm also very, very hot. Get very, very hot, and then the chills come on, and that finally broke at some point, maybe 10 p.m., 11 p.m. last night, and I was able to fall asleep. When I woke this morning, I did feel better, and was still having some chills and heat, and headache still hanging on there. But I was able to get up, go down for my treatments, and I've basically been resting all day. For me, I have to limit my walking, so I just kind of walk around outside of my room as much as I can to conserve energy. And Dr. Filonov has told, for those of us that do experience weakness and trouble walking, obviously it's ideal if we can walk, but if we cannot, we need to save our energy for the fasting and make that choice. So that's the choice I'm making. So that's it for today.
It's day 3 of the retreat and day 4 of my dry fast. And I'm really excited to say that I'm feeling so much better than I was yesterday. I had so much nausea and body pain, and I was really concerned that it was kicking in so soon that maybe I wouldn't make it to the end or meet my goals. But a night out on the beach, which was heavenly, well, not entirely comfortable. However, the air and the environment was so rejuvenating, and I was noticing that every time I walked inside, I felt kind of a little sick and less well. And when I would walk back outside in the fresh air, I just felt so much better. So I decided, even if I didn't get a full night's sleep, it was really worth it to just stay out there in the air. And I think it was the right thing to do, because in the morning I was able to make it to yoga, and had treatments at 9 a.m. and sailed through all of that. Spent some time out on the beach just relaxing, and just as a comparison to last year, I also had intended to sleep on the beach. I very much wanted to sleep out on the beach in the evening, and I was in far too much pain. It was much more difficult for me last year. So that's a big win. And today I'm feeling quite well. And I'm looking forward to, moving into the next days, and I don't have as much trepidation about that because I've had such a big shift. So I was thinking about what I kind of hope to convey for a message. Everybody comes with many of us are coming with Lyme disease or some form of tick-borne illness, but there are many other illnesses that are bringing people here. And one part of the illness that I had, which was super complicated, complex, it was triggered by Lyme and tick-borne illness, but it's something called myalgic encephalomyelitis. So we have encephalomyelitis where it's settled into the spinal cord, and in my case it completely disrupted my cardiovascular system and causes a form of heart failure that I've spoken of. And the quality of life that I lived was incredibly poor, and the situation was quite dire, and I had reached a point where there just seemed to be no real options, and I was just enduring. And after 10 years, it's really hard to keep going and living that way, where every minute of your life is truly suffering. And but I did, and I kept hanging on, believing there had to be something. It just was impossible for me to accept that there was nothing for me. And I know that this group of people with ME, I mean, it's hard to imagine a group of people more maligned and neglected than Lyme disease people, but the ME people truly have very few options, to improve the quality of their lives. And there's not a lot of funding and research that goes towards it. I've done some advocating from my bed for this group. But I want to speak to those people and let you know there is hope. It may seem that something like dry fasting would be an impossible undertaking, considering how terribly weak and the number of systems that are impacted by this disease, including our mitochondria, our energy cells. I also had mitochondrial disease, and I'm just here to say that it's not impossible, and that preparation over time, we don't necessarily have to sprint into this, but reaching out to the doctor and proper preparation. I mean, I prepared for 5 months last year, and then I spent a whole year working away everything that I had learned. I mean, I have not deviated from the diet or the advice that I've been given as best as humanly possible, and it has done nothing but make me feel better and stronger. And although I think we'd all like to watch these videos and see a returning person say, oh, I'm just all cured and I'm all better. But to be honest with you, even if I didn't improve any more than I already have, this has made living possible for me. I mean, I swam this summer. I mean, I did the crawl. It was impossible for me. There was not enough strength in my body to swim like that. I was able to swim. I was able to paddleboard, go and see friends and family. I missed so many Christmases with people. I went to Christmas last year with my family. I could go on and on. Yes, I still have to give myself time to recover, and no, I am not back at my career yet, but I'm okay with that because I'm just experiencing healing and wellness quite consistently. So yeah, just wanted to offer that hope today. Thank you. It's day 4 of the retreat and day 5 of my dry fast. Today I'm hoping to talk a little bit about how my family and friends have reacted to me deciding to return again this year. Generally they've been quite supportive. I think everyone has just been astonished at the progress that I have been making. And with that, some of the responses have been, oh, why do you need to go back? You're doing so well on your own, fasting at home and following all the nutrition guidelines and everything else. But I have helped them understand that it's, I'm needing to do a long fast to go deeper into the healing. I was seriously ill, and there were many systems that have suffered and are damaged, and we're, while I'm doing terrific moving through that, I really need this deeper healing. And while for me, I struggle to do long fasts at home. The heart condition really drives the blood pressure down and the heart rate up, and it's quite difficult for me to do this at home. Although I'm progressing doing this at home, I tend to progress by hours, not days. However, being here under the guidance of the doctor, the support of the team, the treatments that are provided, the energy of the group, I'm able to get so much further. I feel so much safer, and generally make, I made tremendous progress last year. Never dreamed I could make it through a full 6 days, 7-day last year, whereas I'd only been able to get to 3 days with quite a struggle at home. And this year, I'm generally doing so much better. So some of the comments, other than why do you need to do this, I have a couple of family members who are military personnel and actually train survival and train survival, and they my stepbrother in particular, he let me know, he's like, I just can't believe you do this. Like, we teach people that we teach our trainees that 3 days without water and you're not going to make it. And I said, well, you know what, you need to stop teaching them that because if you put that in their mind, instead we need to be teaching them how they can survive without 3 days, for more than 3 days without water. So in general, he's just astonished, and hopefully we'll be changing part of his protocol and training. Other than that, I know my stepdad was super worried, and he just doesn't like the whole idea of it. But generally, he acknowledges just how well I'm doing. Everyone can see the changes in me. So otherwise, I think I need a tissue. All right, we're gonna go for the shirt. So anyway, other than that, I have 2 daughters, both who are grown. One is 37 and one is 19, and they are great. They're doing great with it. Again, I know everyone wishes I didn't have to do this, but thank you. Someone had just given a really moving moving story before I came on camera, and I was incredibly touched. So anyway, moving on. They're all being super supportive and staying in touch every day. I have a mom who's in her late 70s, turning 80 soon, and she just really has so much faith in Dr. Filonov, and she's read Michelle Slater's book, as has my husband and a number of my friends, and they're cheering me on. So like I said, I know everyone's nervous, but they're cheering me on, and I think my husband is one of my biggest cheerleaders now at this point. Again, they wish I didn't have to do this, but they all understand why I'm doing it, and they support me. And like I said, they're just they're watching the transformation take place. So anyway, again, day 5. I'm doing far better on day 5 this year than I was last year, and I'm actually doing better today than I think I was doing yesterday, and definitely doing better today than I was doing the day before. Sleeping outside is a big help. Yeah, I think that's what I've got for today. It is day 6 of my dry fast and day 5 of the retreat. Day 6. I'm so excited. Like, I woke up this morning on the beach, which is just now where I sleep, or don't sleep, but I stay on that beach just soaking up that hydrating, nourishing air. And this morning when I woke up, I just was in complete awe of the fact that I have not had any food or water for 6 days, and I feel good. Like, I just feel fine. I have no pain or headaches. There's a little bit of fluctuating nausea, and of course the energy level. I'm not going to be running any marathons. I wasn't doing that before anyway, but just I just try to move with the energy carefully and don't make quick ups and downs. Take breaks through the day to lie on my back and elevate my legs, which for me helps bring the blood flow back up to my heart, my brain, and restores. It just restores a little bit of that energy, helps alleviate nausea. So my day's going pretty well. Looks like I'm gonna get a lot further than I thought I would. Anyway, so on the topic of weight, this is a big topic in this community, and especially for people who are really curious about trying dry fasting and their early days of dry fasting, and all of our friends and family are all very concerned about our weight. And yes, I have lost quite a bit of weight during the fasting, but yet here I am telling you I feel, almost completely normal. And this is a normal part of the process as our body is breaking down this tissue. We're expelling our toxins, and we're releasing all of this. So any of the adipose tissue or otherwise, our body is using for fuel, is using for water, and it's destroying to make way for fresh, clean, healthy, new cells and regeneration upon exit, at which time we need to truly nourish those cells completely. They're like the little babies that are going to go and do all this good work and repair. So the doctor is always advising we need not be concerned about weight. I know last year I lost a considerable amount of weight preparing for the fast, and then of course during the fast, and over the winter, eating an incredibly healthy diet as prescribed. I really did not deviate from the course, and I gained weight. Not only did I gain weight because I was healthier and stronger than I had been in 10 years, I started gaining muscle, which is something that was almost impossible for me in the past. So some muscle gain through the months, and the doctor also talks to us about the fact that in dry fasting, muscle is not the first to go. The adipose tissue is the first to go, the diseased tissue is the first to go, and our muscle tissue is relatively protected. And I'm totally at ease with this. Like I said, I've been through this before, and I found myself back at a very healthy weight within a matter of time, and I know I will again. So I hope that alleviates any concerns that people might have about being thin. And the other thing is that sometimes people think they should be bulking up and storing some fat, which is the exact opposite of what the doctor would tell us, because again, we have to move through that toxic tissue, and there's really no need to put on tissue that we're only going to have to burn through to get to the job that we're trying to get done, which is destroy unhealthy tissue, break that down, and rejuvenate new healthy tissue. We don't need it. There's no need for that. So if anything, healthy, lighten up, follow the program guidelines, and good luck. It's day 6 of the retreat, day 7 of my dry fast. Right now, I'm pleased to say the most difficult part of my fasting experience is the dryness and the thirst. Last year, I heard so many people speaking of how that was the most difficult part of their long fast. And I had no idea what they were talking about because I was in so much agony and suffering, going through what I was going through, having been so sick before coming here, that seemed really rather secondary for me. However,
I now know what everyone's talking about, which is a wonderful sign of my tremendous improvement over the last year. Something else I wanted to speak of is I had a treatment session this morning with Ivan and Dr. Filonov, and at one point in my journey, I had completely lost the use of my arms and my neck, and frankly, this went on for years, even after therapy helped improve and reverse some of the loss. I have yet to regain full use where I can sit and write or sit at a table and use my computer without causing extreme spasticity. And it is generally quite painful, and there's really not much I can do about it other than stop what I'm doing and work through the nerve glides that I have years of experience trying to combat the symptoms. However, it's made my life really unproductive in so many ways. And obviously it's painful reading books and just trying to enjoy a magazine, sit down, my spine even can't comfortably lean back on a surface without causing these tremendous spasms to happen, in which case they engage my diaphragm and I can't breathe. And then we have the blood flow thing that I've talked ad nauseum about. So all these things going on all the time. I've traveled all around the country for treatment for this over the years. In the early days, back in 2014, I even went as far as to the Damani Center and stay there, coming and going for weeks. Suparna Damani is an outstanding practitioner. And she did help reverse. What ended up happening is I started getting better, improving the use of my arms, but I believe we started disseminating the infections that I did not yet know I had. And as I was getting stronger with the work she was doing for me, I suddenly found my stamina getting weaker and my shortness of breath getting weaker and my ability to do everything became terribly impeded, and I declined to the point where I could no longer go back for treatment with her to travel. Years later, as we worked through and found my infections and had various other treatments, I returned. I had physical therapy at my local hospital. I had been referred finally, when I was so disabled, down to Spalding Rehab in Boston, which is a major institution, and they were only able to help me so much. They were wonderful as well, but nobody's been able to fully restore the use of my upper body. I lose the ability to even just hold up my rib cage. It gets so weak, and it's very painful. And so last year, the doctor was able to work on some of that, but we got so many things to work on with me that we're just trying to get through them. I spent the year doing the physical therapy that I knew how to do. And what I finally had happen is I got stronger. I didn't just maintain. It was impossible in the past when I would do these movements as I could. I kept thinking, it's been 10 years and I don't get any stronger. I just managed to kind of hold myself together, but I'm never moving on. And over this past year, I move on. I can do more reps. I can add, increase the level of intensity. And it's just been wonderful. So today, Dr. and Ivan were working on me, and they recognized the things that were still not right in my arms, neck, and shoulders. And long story short, they went for it, and it was incredibly painful. I mean, I didn't care. But Olga had noticed that I was practically writing down on something, in pain while I was being worked on. And she was like, guys, too much, give her a break. And so the doctor and Ivan both looked down at me and they you want us to stop? I'm like, no. I said, fix it. I said, just fix it. I don't I don't care, fix it. And they laughed and went on with it. So I am already feeling the effects of that. And I'd really like to go on and talk more, but my mouth is completely dry, and I'm sad to say I'm going to have to stop now. Pick it up tomorrow.
It's day 8 of the retreat and day 2 of my exit. I made it through to day 8 yesterday. For me, we broke the fast. Dr. Filonov did an examination, and my heart was doing its thing, just ramping up just a little, and it was enough that you felt like you've gone far enough. We're not going to push it, and I agreed. And the joy of having that glass of water, that first incredible glass of water, was amazing. So I am feeling so good, just very, very tired, which is totally normal. Kind of getting a little more tired as it's going on, but I haven't slept properly for days and all of that, so it makes great sense. But my body feels clear. I don't know how else to say it. It just feels light and clear. And the treatments that are being done are addressing things that I have been trying to have addressed for, at this point, a couple of decades. So this is amazing. I can feel that breaking through, and my ability to just take full breaths without restriction is almost as great as taking that first glass of water. So this for me is one day longer than my dry fast last year. Last year I broke on 7 for the same reasons, only they were more dramatic, my symptoms. And so I completed a 6-day fast in 2023, a year ago, and this will be a 7-day fast complete here this year. So I'm excited to make those gains. The differences it's just so much different this time, yet so much the same, meaning I know the steps, I know what to expect, and I knew, certain feelings or sensations or discomforts were all normal, and not been afraid at all. So this time around, I mean, I wasn't afraid last time really either, but this time around was even more, more confidence. And now that I'm exiting, or even before the exit, I felt I could go on, whereas I was really clinging last year, just sheer will to hang on for another day. And this time I felt like, I am definitely struggling, but if I have to, I think I can do it. We just didn't want to, push the boundaries. And honestly, I think some of us, I mean, all of us can we're going to have different paths and different timings, and I think it was enough. I think I've accomplished my goals, and I'm excited for each day here out on the exit. Getting to eat is just like fantastic. It's day 9 of the retreat and day 3 of my dry fast exit, and I am feeling absolutely fantastic today. This time last year was feeling great, but still very weak, and lots of things that I was struggling through. This year I'm climbing stairs, and yes, there are spells where we need to rest, but everybody is needing to do that. So this is just fantastic progress. I'm so much further ahead than I was even last year. And it's kind of a topic that's sort of near and dear to me because, it has been a process for me. I had some, almost, miraculous initial results from such a short dry fast at home during a practice last year. And all I've done is build from that. But I had so much to heal. There was so much very deeply wrong, and I was very, it was completely disabled, and on so many levels. And to go through that, to think that maybe, you know, I could show up and do this big thing and, you know, do this long dry fast, and that I'm going to go home cured, and, you know, I'll be walking and my heart failure will be cured and my cognitive abilities are cured and the neurological problems are cured and the mitochondrial damage is cured. Like, I mean, these are a lot of systems for that need repair, and these are the ones that I know about, you know, and there's so much our body can be doing and working on, and we're just not even aware of it. So, not to mention the cleansing and the you know, years of potential medications and just modern life. We need to clear our livers out and our organs out, and there's just so much work that's happening that I feel like I just want to impress upon people. Yes, have hopes. You must have hopes. This is, if I can get to where I am even right now, I know others can too. And I'm seeing it happen with others as well. Just be prepared that it's a process. I also think that, I don't know, like the preparation and, you know, it's almost like, it's very, very serious. The preparation, the process, being knowledgeable for your exit, all this knowledge is being really bestowed upon us. And I feel it's like a huge responsibility to take it so seriously, because we're in charge of our healing. It's not like the many hospitals and major medical centers that I went to where you show up, you're put in a bed and people do things to you, you know, that's going to promote your recovery or aid in your symptom alleviation. This is our work. It's our work. We're giving all the skills and the tools necessary to heal ourselves. And we're using an innate process that our body possesses, and we're activating it. And then we're nurturing it. And then we're carrying on. It doesn't just end with a dry fast, in my opinion. And I just feel like if people could see the change in how being dedicated to this process and committed, what it has done for me. It has given me a life, and my life had been gone. And I again, more than a decade has been lost, and I can't get that decade back. But now I have a decade ahead and more decades ahead. And there is real, genuine hope that I'm going to be fully back, restored where I was. And I don't know, I feel like that's kind of my big message for today. Day 10 of the retreat and day 4 of my exit. And I just wanted to, first of all, say, sorry, Mom, I'm missing your birthday. You're turning 80. Happy, happy, happy birthday. I am in great hands. You'll see a new daughter when I get home. Aside from that, this experience here has been, once again, this is my second time, incredible. If no comparison in terms of the health and wellness that I am gaining rapidly, what I've gained over the year, and what I am well aware that I am gaining just from this session alone, this retreat. No comparison. People who saw me last year, they can see the difference. How much more properly I'm functioning and participating and alive. And for me, it's just been a very steady, slow step. I don't go down the steps. I just keep going up, but they are steps. And one of those steps I was thinking about today was, I know we're saying we're getting massages and treatments, but I mean, this is true therapeutic physical therapy. I mean, I've been to some world-renowned physical therapy hospitals and institutions to repair just the wreckage that has come with the illnesses that I've endured for so many years. And I'm literally today, for the first time, breathing with a full diaphragm, one that doesn't pull ribs out of place and start to create spasms and burning sensations. It's just gone. This is just gone. And this has been from the work that Ivan and Dr. Filonov and all the support that's been provided. It's a big deal to be able to actually breathe without feeling you're pulling ribs out of place. And the same thing is happening through my thoracic spine and my neck. And these are areas that I could go on about the suffering. I just feel great. I just feel so great. It's interesting how the combination of dry fasting, driving down the inflammation while these therapies are being applied in combination each day, different parts of our body, how they all come together to move us forward in ways that I cannot imagine. I truly can't imagine anywhere that I could go to receive this much care and benefit and skill. Again, I've had a lot of work done. So, and I've had wonderful people work on me, but to just each day have an incredible breakthrough has just been fantastic for me. And I'm amazed at how incredibly knowledgeable the practitioners are by touching our body, feeling what I feel like our medical society has lost that touch, even in the physical therapy world. I mean, we're getting massages and we're doing the best we can, but so much of our physical therapy isn't even really hands-on. This is on some other plane. So I'm thrilled and I'm very excited, and I'm going to be focused on how I can maintain the benefit, not abuse the wellness that I've got or take for granted, that I can actually sit here without aching and burning and wanting to just drop my rib cage down, breathe, and feel this good. So I will be doing everything in my power to support this. As far as going home, I last year I water fasted under advice from Svetlana, and it was the right thing to do. It's perfect for me. Long 24-hour journey home carried me through. So just no to the airport food. I did the same thing traveling here. No to the airport airplane food, all of that. So I'll be sticking with that. And of course, going home in terms of maintaining the lifestyle, again, I'm all in. So I'll just carry on with between the 21-day program, between the lectures and the training that we get here, and the wealth of information that we can just go on YouTube and pull up from the Health Universe website. That plus, Michelle Slater's book, which is just an intense guide. I mean, if you don't have Lyme disease, read it anyway. Read it anyway, because she's going to take you day by day, exactly what she experienced, mistakes she made after getting home. I refer back to that over and over and over again, as well as to the 21-day program that I've done twice now, which just continues to become refined and more impressive each year. All of this combined is a masterclass on healing yourself, on maintaining wellness, and moving forward in life. And again, I can't imagine any other place where I could get this, and I couldn't be happier. So with that, good luck and good health.